Hello YouTube, I would like to make a video on how to adjust the pressure regulator for Aselkon Emperador series of air rifles. I had to disassemble it to figure it out. So here we have the bits and pieces open. You see I'm holding here the main piston, the spring washers. This is the part that seals. There's an M4 bolt threaded in there. It has conveniently an M4 threaded piston, which makes it easier to disassemble and reassemble. I'll show you. I've already taken it apart. I'm not going to do that again. I will show you when I put it back together how I use the clamp to push it in place using the screw and then put in the seeger back. So there's this screw that lies here on top, a little hole in it, and initially I thought this was the way to regulate it, and this was actually, it had a fairly aggressive thread lock on it. I actually couldn't get it to turn easily. I was uncomfortable in putting so much force, so initially I stopped. Then I got desperate and I said, this gun doesn't make any sense for me. I'm more pleased with the way the Artemis P15 shoots, and it's more portable. This gun doesn't make sense for me unless it can shoot slugs, and it's doing that reasonably accurately, but it just doesn't have the power. So I needed a way to increase the power. Otherwise I was seriously considering of selling it. I'm actually still, I haven't succeeded yet. I haven't measured what the pressure difference is yet. That'll be when I finish up the video. I'll probably add that piece in it once I put it back together and test it. So anyway, initially I thought it was this, and it wasn't. I couldn't get it to turn, so I gave up, put it back together. When I decided I need to do something about this, otherwise I'll sell the gun, I put a lot of force in this, and eventually it came loose, and it also actually started moving what's holding it, which is actually kind of like held in place by some sort of pin there, but it's a little bit loose. It turns like an eighth of a turn, and initially I thought that could be the regulator, but no. There is inside there, let me put on some better lighting. I don't know if you can see, but in there is a little piece of, I don't know, Delrin plastic with a slot. It's probably too dark to see it in there. I'm trying to get it to focus for you here. You can kind of like get a glimpse of it. So it has a flat screw slot in there. I wasn't sure if that was going to regulate it, so I took it all apart, and actually you can see if I shine a light through that piece of plastic, you can see it light up. So that's where it's sealing. So it is threaded in there. Yeah, you can see the threads. So by twisting that, we are going to alter the regulated pressure. So the more we screw that out, it's going to have to squeeze the spring washers more. Therefore, the pressure, the regulated pressure, will rise. So spring washers don't have a huge margin of operating, how do you call it, springiness. So I just unscrewed that half a turn and see how that goes. Now I'm going to put it back together. So this is just to protect it, I guess, because, or limit the airflow. I'm not sure. It doesn't really have a function. Oh yeah, now I get it. As I was talking, it opens up the valve in here. I need to light that up better. There's a little nipple in the pressure cylinder, so without that it wouldn't be able to push it, and then the air wouldn't be able to flow at all. So that's why it's there. Put this back together. So we'll screw that back on. It doesn't need to be super tight. It's just to help help open the little valve on the pressure cylinder. So let's put this back together now. so. I'm trying to center it so it doesn't warp. The clamp doesn't warp while I squeeze it. Now I've got to squeeze it enough to clear the. Is that?
What you will see in the video now is me struggling with putting the seizure back into place. The groove cut for that is very, very tight, and it's very fidgety to put it back in. I struggled quite a while trying to do that, and when I finally did that, I ran into an unexpected issue. Along with the test I'd been doing with this regulator to increase the pressure, I'd been fiddling with the little darker metal piece that holds the screw that pushes against the check valve on the cylinder, on the high pressure cylinder, and that by loosening that, I left a little gap, and the O-ring that seals the main body and this part was able to squeeze out of that gap. This left the regulator totally totally, how do you say, pass through. I was having in the plenum the entire pressure that was remaining in the cylinder, and therefore the gun was unregulated. I was able to later solve that issue, but the funny thing I realized is that even with the full pressure, so the gun unregulated at 200 bar was still shooting the slugs at around 200 meters per second, which was what I was getting at before when the gun was regulated. It was shooting around 200 meters per second all the way down to around 130 bar. Then it started going down a little bit. I say 130, it's a bit of a guesswork because the pressure gauge on the plenum, on the regulated side, is a bit off. So I'm just guessing it was around that. Anyway, this has a positive side to it. Okay, it's not good for trying to squeeze more power out of this rifle. More investigation needs to be done on the valve, maybe the passage leading into the valve neck is too small. I don't know what the issue is. Maybe the spring is too strong. I'll fiddle with it another time maybe. Anyway, the positive side is that the way the valve is balanced seems to be very effective and is doing a very good job of keeping your gun how do you say, consistent. I shot consistently with a max spread of around 4 meters per second from 200 bar to around 120. Bit of a guesswork. Anyway, the 4 meters per second I did measure, so the lowest was 198 and the highest was 202 meters per second on the slugs. So no benefit, but this gun shoots quite well even unregulated. So I'm probably still struggling in the video, so I'll cut it short here. Please hit a like if you enjoyed this type of video, and hit subscribe if you want to be notified when I release new videos. Have a good one. Bye bye.